Hi, this is Melissa from melissaknorris.com and Pioneering Today, inspiring your faith and pioneer roots. And today I'm going to show you guys how to prune raspberries. So today we're going to be pruning what is called summer bearing raspberries. There's two kinds of raspberries. There's summer bearing and ever bearing. Ever bearing raspberries produce fruit in the summer and the fall, and summer bearing just produce fruit in the summer. So this is just for summer bearing, and so you're going to need a pair of pruning shears, and you're going to want to wear gloves, and you're going to want long sleeves. Last year I pruned ours and I had short sleeves on, and I didn't realize it until I got done. I had little scratches all up and down my arms. So they do have little tiny little thorns on them, not like a blackberry bush, but they do get scratchy. So you're going to want to wear protective gear. And so with summer bearing raspberries, the difference is the fruit is from the second year cane only. So you can see, I'm going to put it up front, up close here. So this is last year's branches that had fruit, and you can see the old fruit on them, and they're quite brown. So this is what we want to cut away, because these will not bear fruit again. But these ones, these right here, and you can see the green there on them that's starting to bud out, that's what's going to produce our fruit. So that's what we want to make sure that we don't cut off. So we want to cut off all of last year's. So I actually have, you can see too, because ours is tied up, which we'll do that too in another video. And so it's really easy to identify last year's canes. So these are what they're called canes. So that's what we want to cut off. And when you're cutting them, you want to make sure that you cut them off way down far at the base and don't leave some of the old cane up high. You want to make sure that you cut them down really low. And so you just kind of move these out of your way, and they are a little bit prickly, so just be careful of your face. And so you're going to want to follow them down to the base. So I can actually see here where mine have been tied together from last year. And so just follow those way far down to the very, very base. Okay guys, so I went and got a little bit longer pair of pruning shears here. These ones, these little ones, were just a little bit they didn't have enough power to them for some of the larger canes. So I'll keep those for the smaller canes if we need them. But a longer handled pair gives you a little bit more leverage and is easier to prune with by far. So you can try both sizes. We have a couple different sizes of pruning shears for different projects. So what we're going to do is this set right here, you can see is tied together. So this is last year's that we need to remove. And so I'm going to just kind of put these down here, it doesn't hurt them, out of the way. And then we're going to go to the very base. So I follow up here where they're tied, making sure this is last year's canes, because they won't produce anymore. And we're just going to lop those off. And I still leave them tied together, so it's easier to follow them down. So we're going to trim those off right down at the base. And so these bigger ones just work a lot better. It also helps if you sharpen them too before you get going. And that one. And so there we've got off all of the ones from last year's. Now they are, oh, we got one extra one there. So you kind of can just reach through to grab that. And so I use the little ones, we keep those on hand to cut the string where they were tied up. So that'll allow us to pull them off of the trellis we have going here. So just go like that, and then you'll have to follow them up and then cut them again up at the top. We have them tied in two spots. And this is where, because you kind of wrestle with them a little bit, you're going to want to make sure that you're wearing long sleeve protective gear. So then we just pull those off, and then you'll want to discard these. You can put them in your compost pile. You can put them in through your wood chipper, burn them, however it is you want to dispose of them. But you don't want to leave them near the ground by this year's raspberries. And the reason I really like the summer bearing raspberries is because it produces a lot of berries at once. And so when you're doing jams and jellies and syrups and that kind of a thing, it's better to have a larger quantity of berries to preserve all at once, so that you have enough to do your recipes and stuff. So we prefer the summer bearing raspberries here. Plus we have a really early frost here, and so if I have berries that go into the fall, if I get an early frost, then I'm going to lose them due to the frost. So for where we live, the summer bearing are really the best. So you'll want to consider your climate. And join us next week. I'll show you how to actually tie up your raspberries and then how to add fertilizer and mulch. Thanks so much for joining us.